Well, for the last episode of the year, we welcome a kid from the heartland, Iowa State grad and Korn Ferry Tour rookie, Tripp Kinney, to the program this week.
Well, he's got me wanting to go back to college because the way he described Iowa's golf facility was mesmerizing.
It's quite the facility. We also talk about rules. Tripp's a rules guy. Join us next. Rough Fairways.
Hey guys.
There he is.
Tripp.
How you guys doing?
What's up, buddy? How you living?
Yeah, doing well.
Welcome to the Three Beards podcast.
Yeah,
no
man.
kidding.
You need
I like it.
a little bit more growth, and I need to catch up to you guys.
Yeah.
I trimmed mine the other day, though. So
Well, I got some gray if any of you want to borrow it.
No,
it's true.
I'll stick with. I'll try and keep as much color as possible.
The red looks good, man.
Yeah, thank you.
Where are you right now?
I'm in Des Moines, Iowa.
Okay. So is that
That's where I'm
hometown for you?
Yep. That's where I'm from. So, grew up out here. Got an apartment with my girlfriend in August, and just been living out here since then.
Nice, man. Living the golf pro life.
Yeah, pretty much. It's nice.
I like it, man. Well, shoot. Let's start kind of where it began. Tell us how you got into this silly, stupid game we call golf.
Yeah, no, my dad pretty much got me into it. He was kind of a golfer growing up, not very good golfer, kind of on his high school team and stuff like that, probably around a 12, 15 handicap. And then they just put a golf club in my hand ever since like a plastic club. And ever since then, it pretty much was like, yep, like this is what I was meant to do. I kind of figured it out early and always wanted to go golfing with my dad and just fell in love with the game 3, 4, 5 years old and never stopped after that.
That's awesome. So what you had a first set of plastic ones, one of those like those little Fisher Price ones or something?
Yeah, one of those Fisher Price ones, really colorful, all that, and just literally they gave me those and a wiffle ball, and they just had me. I just would go around the house and do that for hours upon end, I'm pretty sure. And then eventually graduated to longer actual clubs and started hitting stuff outside and started breaking the neighbors' windows and all that kind of fun stuff. So all the stuff that my parents didn't want to have to deal with, but it was great.
How old were you when you first beat your dad?
Oh, I want to say, I don't remember exactly, but I think it was probably around 10 to 12, somewhere right in there. I probably shot around 85. And he probably shot around the same. And yeah, but once that started happening, it didn't stop. I continued to keep on beating him, and he hasn't beaten me in quite a few years now.
Nice.
Perfect. Well, those plastic sticks paid off for you, for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
So if I were to walk into your house right now, how long would it take me before I knew what you did for a living?
Well, I have my golf clubs right next to me. So
Okay.
and it's one of the staff bags. So not very long because I've got my set of clubs, and these are just a couple of my older ones. Got my other set in the entryway, and then my girlfriend actually has a set of clubs. So you'd be like, wow, there's a lot of golf going on in this apartment right now.
Now, are you guys going to decorate? Are we going to get some trophies coming up here soon? And
Yeah,
just
so
like
we've got Christmas decorations.
I like it.
But hopefully, yes. Hopefully, we'll get some like trophies and stuff
That's the goal.
going forward. Yeah, that'd be what I want. I mean, we might need a little bit bigger apartment, but I'm sure.
There we go. I like that forward thinking.
When the trophies
Good goals.
come, we'll move into a bigger apartment and maybe have a room for them.
Okay. Does your girlfriend play like college golf or pro golf? Does she want to do what you want to do?
No, so she was a softball player in college and high
Okay.
school, and so she's an athlete. Got her set of clubs. I mean, she can hit the ball halfway decent, not great, not horrible, but she enjoys it. And but she's actually an accountant. She works for Ernst & Young, so she's got a little bit more of a, I guess I would say it's a little bit more boring of a job than I have.
Sure. Yeah, golf is certainly not boring. Well, it can be, and then when it's boring, that means you're doing well or something, right?
You actually want it to be boring.
You do,
right?
Crazy things.
Yeah. Does it ever? When did it feel boring to you? Like, when did it feel like, gosh, man, I need a challenge, and I'm pretty good at this? When was
I
your
don't think
aha
that
moment?
I don't think there's ever a point in time where golf has actually felt boring for a long period of time, if that
Hmm.
makes sense.
Yeah.
Like there's a couple times where you go out and you're just like, okay, like that was way easier than it should have been. But kind of what keeps me coming back is those times when it's not that easy and you still find a way to put together a good round of golf. But I guess the point in time where I really knew that I had a good chance of playing golf professionally. I mean, I always kind of knew I wanted to do it. But when I really knew I had a good chance was probably my freshman or sophomore year of college.
Hmm.
Uh, and then at that point in time, I'd seen a couple of the guys go through Iowa State, turn pro, be successful, and like I knew I could compete. I knew I wasn't at their level at that point, but I knew I wasn't that far off.
So Iowa's where you grew up?
Yep, grew up in Iowa and then went to Iowa State.
Nice.
So yeah, I loved it, man. I mean, I mean, it's not necessarily the best place in the world to grow up to play golf, just because the weather and everything. I mean, the golf courses have been closed for almost a month now in Iowa, but
Sure.
it's good to have that off season. That's one thing that I've always enjoyed about Iowa is you do get to take a little bit of time off. I played different sports growing up until I was probably 13 or 14. I always really enjoyed it.
What'd you play?
What other sports
Um,
did you play?
yeah, so I played a little bit of basketball, played a little bit of baseball. That was probably about it. I wasn't, I mean, I was okay at both of them, but nothing really kind of drove me to be as good as I wanted to be other than golf. Like golf was the thing that kept me coming back, and basketball, I always knew I was never going to be tall enough or strong enough or fast enough. Like, it wasn't going to be my sport. And
Yeah,
then
you can't
baseball,
train to be taller.
exactly, unfortunately. And then baseball, I just knew I like at 13 or 14, I wanted to make a decision to pursue golf essentially. My dad kind of came to me and asked me a ton of tough questions. And at the end of the day, it was like, like baseball's kind of messing up my golf swing and I want to be really good at golf. So I kind of decided let's go full into golf.
What did he ask you that made you?
Pretty much. So there, I mean, as crazy as it seems now because it's so little, but like growing up, I always wanted to be the Iowa Junior Player of the Year. So I went around and played that circuit, and I'd come close quite a few times, and it seemed like every single year, end of July, early August is when I started playing my best golf after I'd finished baseball in the beginning of July, and so I was kind of like, he just asked me like, hey, like if you want this, I think like just look at what kind of results you've had like and so I was like okay like that's all I need to kind of know. I want to be the player of the year at the 12-13 age division. So I quit baseball and ended up having a really good year and ended up winning it, and so that was kind of when I was like okay, like I put all my effort into it, I got a great result, like I can do this.
Yeah. Well, in high school, it says here you the 2015 Class 4A Player of the Year.
Yeah, that was another really good, solid year. I played some extremely good golf for a high schooler at that point in time. I don't think I shot over par many times. I was extremely proud of that season. A lot of the thing is like Iowa isn't necessarily known for a ton of great golfers,
Hmm.
other than like a Zach Johnson, who's
Hmm.
been through. But like when I was growing up, there were so many good golfers. Guy that went out to Stanford, my team could have had 5 Division I golfers or 6 Division I golfers on their team on that team if they all decided to pursue it. It was just a lot of really good golf, and so that kind of always pushed me to be better.
Yeah. Did you get recruited?
Yeah, got recruited by Iowa State and Iowa, and then I looked at Drake and Marquette as well.
Okay.
And I don't know if you've ever seen the Iowa State golf facility, but if you Google it or you look it up at all, or you'll kind of see why it was a pretty easy decision to go to Iowa State, just because that place and the people there as well. The coach was great, awesome coaches. They always had people for me to meet when I got there, and they were
Sure.
always great. And you kind of just like you look at it, you went out there, met all the players, saw what they were building, and the one thing that kept coming up was there was no way that you can go to Iowa State and not get better after 4 years.
I mean, Mike and I are certainly Googling it right now, if you can't tell.
Yeah, no,
That's a beautiful place.
Yeah,
it's a special place, and we're very, very lucky that Iowa State has that, and they take great care of it. Like, I mean, it's
like
in
it.
exceptional shape.
That's a dream backyard.
You have to get better at with going to there every day.
Yeah, just like whatever you want to do, whether it's putting, chipping, driving, like you want to hit drives for an hour, like we've got 2 fairways and they stripe it and they make it tight, and we've created games with all the players. Like, I mean, if you want to get better out there, it's easy.
Yeah.
All you have to do is put in the time and some thought.
So walk me through. So you have some confidence as a kid, as a 13, 14, 15-year-old, and you're developing that. Tell me, walk through the mindset when you became a college golfer, you're on the team. I don't know if you traveled right away or whatnot, but nervous? What?
Yeah, extremely nervous. Yeah, because I would never, I don't think, like I was never the type of person that was going to come in as a freshman and just dominate college golf.
Sure.
I was going to have to work really hard. I was going to have to improve a ton of things. Like, I was a good golfer. I could feel everything out. I could hit different shots. I could do what I needed to. But I just didn't have like the consistency, like day in, day out. Like, a lot of things had to be, like, a lot of conditions had to be correct. So like I was so nervous. Like, if it ever got windy, I just knew I didn't have enough control over my golf ball as these guys at the top. So I just, a lot of things had to be in place for me to succeed. And but yeah, no, I was really nervous. My goal was to travel as a freshman, travel to every event. I was very lucky to have a lot of great golfers around me. Nick Boak, who has been on the Korn Ferry Tour the last 4 years, Denzel Yermia, who's down on the Australasian Tour as well, and then Ruben Sanjaya. Those guys were kind of my mentors and the older guys on the team that I kind of looked up to. And they kind of, my goal when I got to Iowa State was just learn as much from those guys as possible. Like, whatever they're doing to practice, and a lot of it nowadays, probably, like, a lot of it doesn't help me, but I learned that it doesn't help me because I did what those guys were doing and figured out what really helped me succeed as a golfer and improve as a golfer. So just kind of wanted to get in there and learn from those guys. And that was really my main objective, just figure out how college golf works and go from there.
What did you take away from them that made you better?
Yeah, so I took a lot of stuff away from Nick just as a putter. I thought I practiced hard, and I learned very quickly. I don't practice anywhere near as hard as some of these guys that are way better than me. I mean, just the day I got there, like, I didn't know, and I thought I practiced hard, and I also thought I knew what I was doing. I had no idea. Nick had drills set up. He was like looking at his stats to figure out what he was good at, all his practice and preparation was set up for what he wasn't good at. And he spent a lot of time on that. And so it was just kind of like learning how to practice and learning what my strengths and what my weaknesses were, and having the coaches help me, like, guide me. They can only guide you, really. They can't tell you to go out and hit 100 golf balls or do this drill until you complete it. Like, it's just kind of, but yeah, so they just taught me, I mean, how to practice, essentially, because I don't think I was very good at that before.
Yeah, I mean, that's a common thing for almost any golfer. Anybody I've ever met, they don't practice very well either.
Yeah, it's a tough thing to learn, because I mean, if you're just going to go out and hit golf, like, that's one of the things. I went out and I was just hitting golf balls to a green at the facility.
Right.
And Nick and the assistant coach, they came up to me and they just asked me what I was doing. I was like, oh, I'm just hitting golf balls. And they're like, oh, okay, sounds good. And they just walked off, and then they had a session. I was kind of like, it kind of made me think, like, that was probably the biggest thing, is like, why am I actually doing this? Like, what am I actually trying to accomplish out of this practice session?
You learn to practice with a purpose.
Yeah, 100%. Which is a hard thing to do if you don't realize that you don't have a purpose or you need one. So
So talk about your win at Chambers Bay freshman year.
That was probably one of the coolest moments of my golfing career.
That's your hello world moment, yeah?
A little bit, yeah. I mean, I played extremely good golf that entire week. I was playing some of the best golf that I had all year. Kind of came down between Northwestern and Iowa State
Okay.
towards the end, and I also need to preface it with I'm a huge Jordan Spieth fan, so
Sure.
him winning at Chambers Bay was really cool. And like during the practice round and everything, like I was hitting the putt, he hit on 16, just little things like that.
So was that the same year?
It was the year after, so I think he won.
He won
in
2015.
15,
So you won
and
2016.
or it might have been 17, 16 or 17.
Okay.
So and then, but yeah, no, it was kind of coming down to it. I was in the last group on the course. It was a shotgun, but I was finishing on 18, and I was 18 or 1B that day, so I was the last group to finish. All my teammates were kind of coming in. They were up on the hill on one, watching me come like after my tee shot, coming into the green. I hit this 3-wood from about like 260, 250, right in that range. And I hit it as good as I possibly could have. It went to like 6 or 7 feet. Once again, wasn't a great putter at that stage, but I mean, sometimes they just go in. The greens were not the best at that point in time. I know they've redone them since then, kind of hit all the right bumps and ended up making it for eagle. And the guy that from Northwestern made a birdie, and we ended up winning by one.
Oh,
It
love
was a
that.
very cool moment. Got it on video from a couple of my buddies, so it was awesome.
It's great.
So
So after
So
college, yeah, go ahead, Mike.
I was gonna say Chambers Bay. I mean, do you play that kind of course well? When you say, like you said, if the wind blows, things have to go right sometimes. Is there a course that suits you
um
or
so
style maybe?
that week there was no wind, which is why freshman year I was able to succeed there. But I do think like a big massive property, lots of rolling area, like Chambers Bay fit me really well. Like it just set up like I like you have to drive it well. It can be kind of intimidating. There's a lot of fairway, but it's also pretty intimidating out there just with everything else going on. So I think a big massive golf course is kind of my what suits me better.
Yeah, you long guy. It looks like your stats on PGAtour.com, your profile. What's you at? 305 distance last year on the Korn Ferry Tour.
Yeah, I'm not the longest by any means, but I mean, I don't it's not like I'm out there struggling trying to find distance every time. So
Sure.
it's I kind of pride myself on how accurate I am, and I've gained distance since my freshman year of college. So it's all I've gained the distance without really losing the accuracy, which has been really helpful.
And this year was your first year on any professional tour,
Yeah,
right?
it was. Yeah. So
Okay.
this last year was my first year. I mean, I did mini tours
Yeah.
right out of college just because I didn't have any status anywhere,
Mm-hmm.
and then I went through pre-Q all the way to final stage, got full status, and yeah, this year was my first year on any big tour.
Walk us through the year.
It was a great year. Obviously would have liked a little bit better results, but overall, just to be out there competing against the best golfers in the world, I wouldn't trade it for anything. I gained so much experience. I had a couple of good results. I played a couple of really good rounds of golf.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Kind of showed me like I know I'm capable of going out there and competing and competing against the best players in the world. Now it's just kind of mentally getting out of my own way, kind of that, but also just being at my best mentally, just knowing how I want to be out there on the Korn Ferry Tour or any tour for that matter, wherever I am, just knowing how I want to be all the time and going through there and just trusting that how I want to be is going to make me successful.
When you're having a good week, is the swing clicking? Or are you mentally just in a better spot? Just seeing
Um,
putts better? Like what clicks for you when you're playing well?
I think I definitely hit the ball. Like I hit the ball pretty well for the most part, but there are some weeks where it's just the ball, your misses go where you want it, like right next to the hole, which doesn't happen all the time. But when it does, you really want to take advantage of it. And so yeah, those good weeks that I've had, the misses go next to the hole, and I make a couple more putts, and that's really the only difference. And the thing is, there are a couple of times where I've like you can have a good week, and it only ends up being 2 days because you shoot 4 under and the cut's 5 or 6.
Right.
That's the biggest adjustment that I've probably had to make is a good week doesn't always mean that you're going to make the cut or finish in the top 10 or whatever. It's just a good week's a good week, and you kind of have to just take it with what it is.
That's definitely something Eddie and I have learned talking to all the different players is like it's such a very thin line that separates the winners from the cut line.
Yeah.
Talking about one putt here, one putt there. Everybody's just a phenomenal talent, but it's just one putt, two putts.
Yeah, where does your patience lie within golf?
Um,
And what I mean by that is like what makes you impatient? Because I can imagine going week in and week out, and you're playing really well, but you're not making the cut, or you're one stroke here or there. Where's your patience lie?
it's tough because being patient is probably the most important aspect of golf, honestly. It's something that hopefully as I continue to grow and continue to learn, hopefully my patience will get better. I'll have a better understanding that I already feel like I have a better understanding that good golf isn't always going to make a cut or whatever it may be. But it's definitely tough. Like there's some very low points out there that I had this year just because I'm young and I don't understand that like that's just how it's going to be sometimes. But I think I missed a couple of cuts in a row here and there. I think I only made like 8 out of 23 cuts or something like that this year. So it was definitely a year of learning how to become patient. I think I'm still figuring it out. I don't think I'll ever fully have it figured out, but if I can be more and more patient at each and every week and just be confident with myself and not having to play perfect golf or make every putt or make every cut to be confident in myself, I think that's probably the most important thing.
How close were you to the playoffs, to Boise? We didn't see you in Boise.
Yeah, no, I was a decent ways out.
Were you? Yeah.
I think I finished like 140th in the points or something, right around there.
Yeah.
I was very proud of myself because I gave myself a good chance in Omaha. I shot
Yeah.
6 under the third round, and moved quite a ways up the leaderboard. And another one of those rounds the next day may have given me a chance to at least retain some sort of status on the Korn Ferry Tour. But yeah, at the end of the day, I was probably a lot closer than I think I was to Boise. Just a couple putts here and there, a cut or two more made type thing. But I've finished about 140th on the points list.
So let's talk status. Where are you at now?
So sorry. Now I finished 140th in the Korn Ferry Tour points list, and then I went back to first stage of Q school, made it through first and second stage again, and then finished about 110th at final stage, right around in there. And so now I have conditional status on the Korn Ferry Tour. Not great conditional status, just decent ways down the reorder, reshuffle.
Mm-hmm.
So now the main goal is to be ready for my next opportunity, do a bunch of Mondays, or do as many Mondays as I need to until I can hopefully get into an event, make a cut, try and move up the reshuffle, and try and get as close as possible to last year and play as many events and do what I can to at least try and get into the top 75. Those are kind of all outcome goals, but really, truly, I just want to keep getting better. That's really the main goal.
We had
Physically, where do you need to get better at?
Putting is something that has always held me back. But this year I've made so many gains. I've started seeing a new putting coach. Never really had a putting coach before. I had my high school. I had my coach at growing up, and then I had my college coaches, and now I've really specialized, and I have an actual putting coach that I've been going to recently, and he's kind of just changed the way I've thought the philosophy about my putting stroke. And then I really, about June last year, I decided I'm going to stop worrying about outcome and only worry about speed. And I went from losing strokes on the putting green to almost gaining a full stroke per round on the
Nice.
putting greens. And so obviously saw those improvements, and it's nice, it's fun, it's cool seeing something like that that's always held me back kind of turn into one of my strengths.
It's got to be very uplifting too. I mean,
Yeah,
something. I mean, you're not 12, so something you've been struggling with for a little bit to start see going in the right direction.
for sure. And that's the goal. Obviously, just want to keep getting better at everything. I'm working with my coach on some swing improvements, not really changes, just we've got a long-term plan. It's probably going to take 10 years for it to look how he wants it to look, and we're completely fine with that. We're in here. I'm in it for the long haul. Trying to change a couple things here and there, make them better, just to make my ball striking just that much more consistent and week in, week out. Like, cause that's the biggest thing is everybody's a good ball striker, but how often can you be at your best or be close to your best? That's all it really is. And
Right.
consistent you can be, the better.
You have any idols growing up?
Obviously a huge Tiger fan. I idolized him, watched him play all growing up, and that's kind of one of the other big reasons why I think I decided to play golf. Is just nobody else really kind of did it for me, but I would always go, and if Tiger was playing, I was watching on Thursday through Sunday. I was always watching him. So
The pull that he has and he had and he obviously still has with golf, it's really neat to because we talk to most. I mean, Mike and I are in our 40s, and we talk to
Whoa.
most. Well, I am
Whoa,
at
speak
least.
for
Sorry,
yourself.
yeah, Mike's not yet, but we talk to kids that are in their 20s, of course, because and it's interesting. I mean, even you guys are Tiger fans, and you caught him at the latter part of his career. You know, I started. Gosh, I mean, I was 16 when he was. I was 16 in '96, so I don't even think you were born
yeah, I was born in
when he did
'97.
his his Hello World. But it's just really neat to see over and over and hear that kids your age still. You guys are all Tiger fans.
Yeah, because I honestly think I miss most of his prime. Like,
Yeah.
genuinely, like I think
Oh, it
my
was so
first
damn good.
really my first really vivid memory was '05 is Chip in at the Masters.
Yeah.
Like that was my first like wow, like that was so cool. Like just watching that, like that was when I was like, holy, like this game is sick. Like
Yeah.
you can do that. You can like I went out and I was like, how do you get it to like shoot that low, stop that quick, and then like it's just
He
that
made
was
golf cool. I
he
mean,
really did.
I had the opportunity. I lived in San Diego from when I was a kid, and I saw him win. I saw him play at the Buick every year, and it was the year that he was going for 6 in a row at the Buick when it
Mhm.
was the Buick, and Mickelson beat him that year, and it was I was 19, and he just it was. I mean, that you can imagine the crowds and everything, but yeah, what he's done for the game is really cool.
Yeah, and it just
Obviously,
it continues on to this day. Like it just the pull he has in golf. Like if he's playing, everybody's gonna watch. Like
yeah,
if he plays the hero this weekend, I stop watching football on Saturday and I start
yeah.
watching the golf. Like it's just that's just how it is.
And
Yeah.
everybody's going to be tuned to the screen when him and Charlie tee it up, and that's
Yeah,
another conversation too. Charlie, oh my gosh,
yeah,
Whew.
exactly. He's gonna be. He's got the swing. It's just once again, there's a lot of talent, and it's whether he has the work ethic, and I'm sure Tiger will he'll be good. He'll be good at some point, but don't want to put too much pressure on him. There's a lot of good young golfers. So
Yeah,
Well, he's a kid. You still want him to be a kid.
yeah.
exactly. That's the thing. Like if I had that many eyes looking at me when I was is he like 12 or 13? He might even be younger than that. Like there's
Well,
no
he's
way
13 now, I
I
think.
think he's 13 or 14, but you're right. It's just it's got to be.
I
I hope he doesn't. He's going to have the weight. I think he's going to have the weight of the world on him, anyways, just because who he is.
mm-hmm.
Whether he plays golf or he turns into a NASCAR guy. Just it's going to be Tiger Woods' son.
Yeah, exactly.
He has
There's
to be
no way
good
to
at
get
whatever he does, or else he's going to be a failure. And that's not how it's going to be, but I just hope he doesn't feel that.
Yeah, for sure. There's definitely that pressure, and I mean, it's gonna be cool to see because he's got the swing and everything, and it's just like
Yeah.
it looks like he swings exactly like Rory. And that's
Yeah.
Oh
what
yeah.
I just
It's
said, and
amazing.
that was the quote and everything. But yeah,
Was a
he's
good
gonna.
quote.
It's very very cool to just watch Tiger and then watch his son because like he swings it like Rory, but then he does everything else like
He
his
has
dad.
all the mannerisms.
Yeah.
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 What do you do in pressure situations?
Um. Honestly, it's in pressure situations. I would say in the past, I get kind of I don't know. I try and have like a little bit of a killer mindset.
Hmm.
It's just like I'm gonna beat you, and like that's all that matters. Like I don't care. Like I don't care how. Like I'd say that's okay. I've started working with a sports psychologist, and one of the big things we've talked about is just being comfortable with who I am and trusting like how I want to be all the time. It doesn't really ever change. Um, and so that I mean, I've been in a couple of more pressure situations where it's been closer to making the cut and stuff like that. But I mean, I was in the Nebraska Open earlier this year. I was in the lead heading into the final round, and um, I kind of just want to use them as situations to learn, if that
Hmm.
makes sense.
Hmm.
Yeah, like now it's more. I want to. I have like I've written down how I want to be on the golf course. How, like I want to be calm. I want to be composed. And now it's kind of using those situations. Obviously, I think it kind of goes without saying. Like I want to win. Like
Hmm.
I'm a competitor. Like I don't need to go out and do anything different because of that. Like I know how I want to be. Now it's just let's go out and learn like how well I can actually stick to those values essentially and
Hmm.
Right.
reflect on it after the round and just move on from there. Like learn from it and keep going because then the next time hopefully I'll be in a better position. Hopefully I'll do better type thing.
And you got good support on your bag now too, right?
Yeah, I mean Chris. So Chris is amazing.
Yeah, he
I
is.
was very lucky. He shot me a message after first stage and he said, "Hey, I'm available. I'd love to be on your bag." And I was like, "Yep, whatever it takes. Like we're getting that because
Sweet.
I think I had upwards of 15 or 16 caddies this year on the Korn Ferry Tour for one reason or another. But um, when Chris said that, I was like, yeah, let's do it. And obviously now it's a little bit of a tougher situation just because I don't have guaranteed starts.
Hmm.
So I told Chris, you go out, you find your bag, you find a bag, whatever you need to do, you go do it.
Yeah,
Hopefully, when I can get a start, he'll be the first person I contact. And I
sweet.
mean, I can't imagine he'll be free that week just because of how good of a job he does, and somebody will pick him up. But if he is, I know he'll be available. I'd love to have him back on the bag.
Yeah,
Well,
we
he
met him
spoke.
in Boise. He's just such a great guy. Just
Yeah,
the
Really,
stories he has too.
and he
yeah,
spoke very highly of you too, by the way.
yeah. That was Chris has been unbelievable for me, and I can't thank him enough just for helping. Like I feel like we have a very similar philosophy where it's just all about the process. And so it's very easy to have him on the bag for me. Just nothing really ever got out of hand. He kept me very calm in situations where there's a lot of pressure. And yeah, he does a great job. He's one of the hardest workers out there. He's walking. When we were at final stage, it's two courses. We go out play 9 in the morning. He's gonna walk that 9 in the afternoon, and maybe the other 18. Like
Yeah.
he's putting in the work, and I can't thank him enough for what he did for me at those second and final stages.
Now that you've had a year on tour, what's different than you expected?
Um, well, I don't think I realized just how many great golfers there were, like week in, week out. I think that's kind of a big thing that I learned this year, but different. Um, it's a lot more relaxed out there than you would think. Like everybody's in the shot. Like when they're in the shot, it's go time. But afterwards, like it's there's a lot of good guys, a lot of great people that I met, and kind of just chatting up the fairways about who knows what, and
Yeah.
just it's actually a lot more relaxed than I would have expected
Cool.
out on the Korn Ferry Tour.
That's what we get a lot too. All the guys that we've had on, it just seems like a good frat, good fraternity of folks that are same goal.
Yeah,
You're
pretty
trying to
much.
beat each other's brains in each week, but you still have the same goal.
Yeah, and it's like there's so much respect out there because every single one of those guys is going through the exact same things. I'm
Mhm.
every single one of those guys, and unless you're a phenom, like you're going through a couple missed cuts in a row where you're racking up the expenses for a couple weeks, or then so everybody just knows like what everybody else is going through, and yeah, we want to win and we want to beat each other's brains in, but afterwards, like we're gonna go get a beer with those guys and talk about our rounds or talk about their kids or whatever it may be, and they're all it is one big fraternity, like a whole bunch of just great guys, and it's fun. It really is.
All right, we're gonna
When
switch it.
you're
Yeah, go
when
ahead,
you're
Mike.
on the course, are you more of a banter kind of guy? Or do you kind of just zone in a little bit, or is it kind of maybe more depend on who you're playing with?
Yeah, I want to be a banter kind of guy. Like I want to talk with my playing partners and take my mind off of golf as much as I possibly can, and then zone in for my shot, and then after that, like just kind of relax because I mean it's 5.5 hours on the golf course just playing golf.
Right.
Like you got to take your mind off of it somehow, and there's a lot of good guys that makes those 5.5 hour rounds enjoyable for sure.
Is there a lot of slow play on KFT?
Yeah,
Is
yeah,
there? Yeah.
yeah. Though I mean, so I was in
That is a long round.
5.5 hours. I think
Is
my
that average?
I'd probably average around 5:20, 5:15.
Oof.
And it's
Wow.
just
Okay.
the position that I was in, I was always going off in the later part of the waves just because of
Mhm.
the my status out there. And
Mhm.
so I mean if you're at the beginning, you can probably play in like 4.5, 4 hours 40,
Mhm.
something like that. But the later you get, the longer it takes for whatever reason. But yeah, no, it's pretty slow out there.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna have some fun here. We're gonna do some quick hitters and rapid fire
Perfect.
before we let you go. What's the last shot that gave you some nightmares?
Last shot that gave me some nightmares. I went through a little phase during Q school where I shanked the ball like 3 times in
Oh,
first and
Awesome.
second stage. So yeah, probably that.
draw or fade?
I'm a draw. I've always hit a draw. Never. I mean, I think a fade doesn't look good for whatever reason.
Wow.
Who would play you in a
Shot.
movie?
Whew. Probably somebody that doesn't have much hair. I don't know who that would be. I'm not much into actors and stuff like that, but
Yeah.
somebody who has a little bit less hair.
What's your favorite club in the bag?
Um, Probably have to be my putter. I've got a Scotty Cameron that I got this year, and it's so good. It's great looking. So
I like it. That answer has changed since your college days. I mean, your
yeah,
profile says driver, so I like
yeah.
that answer.
I mean, driver's an easy answer because
Sure.
I used to hit it so well, but I've always hit it well. But the putter is something I'm falling more in love with now.
I think
Wind or rain?
just gonna ask that.
Wind or
I
rain?
think we know the answer to this one.
Right.
Probably rain.
Rain.
Honestly, I'm cool with. I'm way.
I'm
I'd
with you,
much
Trip.
rather have
I hate
rain.
playing in the wind.
But if you get them both, oh, that's when
Yeah.
you're not
Yeah,
fun.
then you just walk off the golf course is what you do. At least that's what I do at least.
Yeah,
Michael continue to go because he's a masochist, but yeah, I don't
Right.
really. Yeah.
Favorite course you've ever played?
the course I've ever played, Royal Melbourne down in Australia. Played
Yeah.
Royal
couple of
Melbourne.
teammates,
Nice.
couple of teammates from down there, and I was lucky enough to get,
Melbourne.
yeah, lucky enough to get an exemption down there, and yeah, no, that course is awesome.
Now, do you still do this? 3 tees and a ball marker in your right pocket and a divot in your left?
Yeah,
Do
I
you
do.
fix the do you fix that with your left? Or do you
No,
fix it with your right?
I fix it with whichever one is available.
Okay, so you
Yeah,
take it out of your left and then transfer it to your right and then fix the green.
Maybe, yeah, probably.
Okay.
I,
Are you
I don't,
are you left-handed in anything?
no,
Okay.
no, no. I don't. That's just always how I've done it, and I'm pretty superstitious. Got a
Yeah,
couple
lefties are a
of,
bunch of losers, so
yeah, they are, aren't they?
yeah.
Wow.
I'm guessing Michael's one.
Absolutely he is.
Everybody's born right-handed, and only the gifted overcome the deformity.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
I mean, I have to play golf with Mike, and he's my number one guy I play golf with, and every time
Well,
he's
what
a
he does,
lefty.
I'm not sure if it qualifies as playing golf, but
That's true. Um,
all right. So let's say 20 years from now, we're all watching the Masters. Who's the honorary starters? Jack will be passed by then, all those guys. So
Yeah, 20 years from now, I mean, Tiger will definitely be one. Um, I mean, everything that's happened this last year, it would have been Phil, you would have thought.
right,
mhm.
Um, did Faldo, he won a couple of times at Augusta, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's
So
got three.
I think it'd be Tiger, Faldo, and then maybe one or two more. I can't really think of anybody else.
I think that's our first ballot for Faldo. I don't think we've
Really?
ever gotten a
it is.
Faldo.
Yeah,
Yeah, I like
I
it.
mean, it just kind of makes sense with his age. Wouldn't he be around 70, 80 around then?
He might
yeah, yeah. I
be.
mean, he'd be the older guy in the group for sure.
Yeah.
But probably since it hasn't been too many people since all the live craziness, so we got a lot of fills. We get a bubba or two every once in a while.
Yeah, I could see something like that. So, but yeah, no, Phil would be up there, but it just depends on what happens the next 10 years with him.
Sure.
Yeah.
So,
You like links course or you like tree lined? What do you prefer? If you
I
have to.
haven't played a ton of links golf, but
Yeah.
I do enjoy it. I'd probably have to go with links golf. But I grew up tree lined, all that kind of stuff, parkland
Sure.
golf courses in Iowa. So,
Yeah.
but I'd probably say I enjoy links golf more. So,
Yeah,
Is
I'd
there
be
a
that same way. I grew up in the Midwest. I grew up in St. Louis, so we had like one or two kind of links courses, and I always thought they were a lot more fun than just
yeah,
trees everywhere.
for sure. But I don't think I've ever played like a links course like how it's actually meant to be links, if that makes
Right.
sense. I don't think I've played the firm, fast links golf course.
With wind.
Yeah, with wind.
and rain? What do you think? What do you think makes a good golf hole?
Oh, um, I think
Like,
just the risk reward. Like if you hit a good, like obviously it's kind of it's tough, but like hole 12 at Augusta is a good golf hole because if you hit a good shot, it's always going to be rewarded
mhm.
because of the shape of the green, because it's short left and back right. Where if you hit a bad one, it's just the opposite of a right-handed player's dispersion. Like any bad shot there isn't going to end up in a good spot.
Mhm.
So it's just like, how can you balance that and make it so that if you hit a really good golf shot, you should be really rewarded without just making it super easy.
So with that example, is 17 at Sawgrass a good golf hole, or is it
Um,
too easy?
I've never played it. I think it would be a really cool golf hole to play. And I think under the situation, 17 hole, one of the biggest events of the year, you have to hit a good golf shot like in order to find that green. I think that would be considered a good golf hole
I
just
think
without
it.
ever playing it.
I do think it is a good golf hole, but I think it's a good golf hole because of where it sits on the course, right?
Yeah.
And like what it means to players. Like you're on 17, and if you have the lead or you're trying to, make up strokes, that's why I think it's a good golf hole. I think if it was like number 2 or 3,
It would just be
Right.
I don't know if it would be a good
irritable.
golf hole. I really
Yeah, I
don't.
agree. But like the amount of drama that has been created there by either a great shot that's hit to 2 feet or
Yep.
a shot that looks good for 10 seconds and
Yeah.
then rolls off into the water, like just that, and then knowing that once you're done with 17, it's 18.
Yeah. You have to hit the tee shot on
Right.
18, which is
Mhm.
Well, and not even to bring up wind again, but I mean, 17, there's
mm,
plenty of wind to factor in there, too.
especially
That's
last
why
year
you see
too.
so many balls in the water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, gosh, JT hit 6 iron there. I think it was like
Yeah.
on the first day on like that really, really windy day.
Yeah.
That was a crazy day of golf.
6 iron
Yeah.
with JT even. Good Lord.
All right, you're commissioner for a day, and you can change one rule of golf.
Yeah, here we go.
One rule
Rules.
of golf.
It's the best.
Oh,
There is a right answer.
There's not a right answer. Don't listen to him.
you're probably the divot guy, aren't you?
I am the
Oh
divot
my
guy.
God.
Yeah.
You've been listening to a couple of episodes, haven't you, Tripp?
I actually haven't, but I could just tell based on the way he said it that you don't want to hit from divots, but
Mike, you got it. That means Mike hits and divots too much, but Mike,
Yeah,
you gotta
exactly.
Well, I'm
you
usually
gotta
way
dress
past
this
the
up a little
divots,
bit
you
more,
know.
Mike, when you present that question. But anyways, go on, Tripp.
Honestly, it's kind of funny. I'm a massive rules junkie. Like I will use the rules to my
Oh, don't
advantage
say that.
whenever
We'll
I
keep you
can.
here till 10 o'clock tonight, dude.
So, but no, all my teammates, like I've asked some of the weirdest questions. I remember we were in Savannah for final stage, and they were in
Yeah.
Mexico for the Mayakoba.
Yeah.
And for whatever reason, I just had like a weird rules question about the cave bunker and like what happens when you go in there and if you
Oh
can
yeah.
somehow drop on top. And so I started asking some of the rules officials, and yeah, no, I love the rules of golf. That was always one of the things my dad kind of instilled in me. He was like, you need to know the rules because you knowing the rules is going to help you one day. Don't know how, but it's
Sure.
going to get you in a better spot. And the amount of times that I've known something and been able to take a drop from the rough onto another sprinkler head and then drop it again, like into the fair, like the amount of times I've been able to do something simple like that, like I just love the rules. It's fascinating to me.
So what would you change?
Yeah. What would you change?
I honestly don't. I mean, I honestly don't think I'd change much. I can't think of anything top of my head.
You know what I'd change, Mike? I would change the tee in front of the ball, teeing it up in front of the marker.
What would you
that.
change?
Do you want
Immediate
more?
disqualification or
No, like it's just an accident. I've never done it before. Actually, I almost did it once, but like it's just like, I mean, are you really getting that much of advantage if you
Well,
tee
I think your
6
counter
inches?
argument to that is that you're a professional and you should be able to err on the side of caution. If you're not getting anything, then why not just tee up a foot behind it?
I have not done any research on this, but I really wonder how many pros have actually broken that rule.
Happened. It's definitely happened. Like not on purpose. Nobody's trying to gain an advantage, but the amount of times that you just step up, like I'm sure there's so many people that are gonna miss a cut or something that week and they just throw the ball down and hit it. And I'm sure if we looked at every single one, it's happened before. Not
What
on
if you
purpose.
teed up in front, hit a great drive, and then it's landed in a divot?
Or you could do it.
Go home.
Your boy Zach Johnson, Tripp. We could instill like the Zach Johnson rule that if you accidentally hit it on your practice swing, that counts, man. You're playing it from where it lies.
Right.
Rule 13.1 will come into play after you.
Well,
Yeah.
isn't there the rule that if the ball doesn't advance past the tee marker, you can tee it up again?
See, I don't know that because see that wouldn't really apply to me because I don't have that happen to me.
Sure. No, I follow some Instagram page and it's got like some really obscure rule videos they do, and like this guy topped it, but he was, a foot or two back, and it didn't go in front of the tee marker, and the rule stated or something that you could tee it back up because you hadn't cleared the tee marker, and it was still a stroke, but you didn't have to hit it off the deck or something.
Okay, that could make sense. I could see that.
But I mean, the divot rule is ridiculous. Let's all be honest here.
There are so many different rules.
There are so many ridiculous rules of golf. Yeah, I'm glad that you like rules. Like, I don't. I mean, Mike. Yeah. But there's just too many. That's why there's just way too many.
That's the only one I'd change. I think. I mean, you rake bunkers. You fix a bunch of other stuff on the course. And even the rule that everybody has to play the same course. If you're playing in the afternoon, you're not playing the same course because those divots weren't there for the morning guys. So I think you can at least make a rational justification. There's some people wouldn't hear it because they're purists.
I can see it, but at the same time, like if you hit in a divot, you hit in a divot, and it's most of the time it's not the end of the world. I mean, I've hit in plenty divots and hit great shots out of them. sometimes it can help you.
So. That's just because you're a professional, Tripp. You got to remember who you're talking to. You got to know your audience here.
Yeah, I hit it at Eddie's divot.
Come on, I mean, if I hit at a divot, I'm chunking that shit 50 yards, dude.
Oh, that's amazing.
Oh my gosh, Tripp, my man, this has been great. I always like to ask this question before you leave because we like the feels here at the Rough Fairways. How golf has changed everybody's life, right? That get into it. It's changed my life. It's changed Mike's. I mean, I met Mike at work, but we fell in love with golf. So he loved golf. So we became good pals, right? So what has golf really meant to you, and how has golf changed your life?
Yeah, it's given me a great opportunity to do what I love. I love to go out, and there's so many people that love to go out and play golf and unfortunately not a lot of us are able to do it for a living. And to me, like, to just be able to wake up every day and have that drive to want to be a better golfer and be able to go out and play it and do it every single day, like that's a special feeling, and it's helped me in so many ways. It's helped me become a better person. The amount of things that you learn playing golf that connect with your day-to-day life, like it's countless. Like it's incredible. So to me, golf has just been something I've loved to do, and the fact that I have this outlet and this opportunity to do it and get better at it every day and be a better person because of it, like something that I don't take for granted. That's for sure.
Rough Fairways is produced by Eddie Dunn and Mike Sells. A lot of the players, if you'll notice, have said they don't want to take it for granted because they don't know when it's going to end. They're playing golf for a living. They all know how tough it is to keep your card and to get your card. Anyways, good lesson for all of us. Tripp, thanks again. Good luck this year. Listeners, thank you as always for tuning in. Happy New Year. Enjoy the golf this weekend in Maui. And remember, be kind to each other.